It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Black people are allowed to talk about black culture in a way that white culture cannot. For example, black people can go up and say that there's a baby mama problem in black America, and white people are not allowed to say that. Oh, I just did, so what are you gonna do, cancel me? Black people are allowed to say, I'm
a grown man, I got way too much to
black people
worry
are allowed
about.
to say that there is a systemic fraud issue within the PP loan application in black America. Black people are much easier to be able to say that black individuals, despite being 13% of the American population, commit 55% of the murders. If most white people say that at a job, they would get fired for being a racist. I don't care because I say whatever I want. So black individuals have much more intellectual public freedom than white people do. If a white person were to come up and say, you know, black America really needs to get its act together and stop sleeping around all the time, and it needs to actually have
why would you
because
just walk
it's
up and,
true. Because
why
it's
would you
true.
just walk up to someone and talk and attack their culture from the outside?
Well, hold
You
on,
can't
because
talk about someone.
hold on. Let's look at the evidence. You said to myself, you said there's all these people suffering in Chicago. There's all these people that are terrible. I'm telling you why. It's because there's been bad decisions that have been institutionalized. Let me finish. And rap artists and athletes and people at the top level of black society that refuse to ever challenge the core rot in black America, which is that they are allowing degeneracy and hedonism to eat the soul of what once was a beautiful black culture, and instead they go around saying it's the boogeyman of racism, the white man is out to get you, and the result is black America is doing worse than it was in the 1960s. That is the contention. Period.
It's not just that. It's a culture. It's so much deeper than the present day we are in. I don't know why you're pretending like it just doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter? You mean things that happen? Again, I've been through this multiple times. Let me just ask you
but
one.
You're not listening to understand.
No,
you're listening to reply.
No, I'm doing both actually. And so, okay. But let me just ask one final question, right? Mm-hmm. Which is that you have your entire future ahead of you. Mm-hmm. When you are hired for a job, would you rather be hired because of your race or because of how qualified you are?
It doesn't boil down to just that.
That's what DEI is, man.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
it
it's
is
not.
definitionally the hiring of people.
They're not just going to immediately see. You
get extra points if you're black with DEI. That's how it works. Racial quotas elevate people based on the color of their skin.
So do you think I got extra points to come here?
I don't know. You said you were qualified, but affirmative action was institutionalized in Harvard and in Texas and a lot of other places. We know this. So I again, TU, we don't like them, right? So, but again, I just want to I want to just repeat this point. Where can I go to work that you can't?
It's not just that.
Exactly. There is nothing that is preventing black people from prospering. Nothing. The only thing is that you guys have been hypnotized to be victims of your own mind.
I just got the news that Charlie Kirk passed away, and I don't care what your political party is. I don't care what you believe in. That was a man of God, and y'all took his life. I didn't even get a chance to pray or anything. I didn't even know until 5 minutes ago, and he already passed away. But it hurts my heart deeply. It grieves me that that's how evil this world is. That is a father. That is a son of God. That's somebody's husband. This world is so evil, and I hate it. I honestly don't have any words right now. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. And while I can't change anything, I can't change the outcome because he's already in heaven. But what I can do is start a prayer chain for him and his family. God, we ask that you cover his kids. We ask that you cover his wife. We ask that you cover his people. God, that you would place a peace that surpasses understanding over their minds. That you would be near to their broken hearts. That you would save their crushed spirits in these moments, God. That you would place a hedge of protection over his family, over his children's minds, God, so that they wouldn't grow up and allow this to be something that breaks them, but something that builds them to become all that he was and even more, God. To become more outgoing for your kingdom, to work harder, and to be all that you called them to be times a million, God. I thank you that this is not the end of who he was and his story and what he stood for, but that this is only the beginning of what the ministry that has been placed on his life is going to do, God. So I thank you for the way that you're covering his family. I thank you for the way that you're comforting them, the way that you're holding them, the way that you're leading them and guiding them through this, God. I ask that his family be comforted and be led in this moment. I thank you, God, for who you are. I thank you that even when we don't understand things, even when things happen outside of how we wish that they would, God, that you are sovereign and that you are still good and that you are still in control. So God, hold their family. Holy Spirit, wrap your comfort around them right now. In Jesus' name, amen.
I'm gonna say it because y'all can't fight me. For the people who are like, that was his political opinion. Okay, pause. Let's run it back to grade school and discuss what is a political opinion. A political opinion is something like, how high should taxes be? Should the states have more control than the federal government? Should we regulate guns more or less? See, these are political opinions. You can agree, disagree, debate them. That's politics. But when you step into saying things like black women don't have the same cognitive ability as white people, or that black people were better off in slavery and Jim Crow because they committed less crimes, that's not a political opinion. That is racism and white supremacy. When you claim that the 1 in 5 women who report SA are liars, that's not a political opinion. That is misogyny. When you argue that even a 10-year-old child who is SA'd should be forced to carry that pregnancy to term, that is not a political opinion. That is violence and asinine, honestly. And when you say that we should bring back live, televised executions for children as young as 12 to watch, that is not a political opinion. That's apparently a self-fulfilling prophecy. And let me be clear, violence is never the answer, and I do not stand for it. But we also can't ignore the fact that for years, this person promoted violence and hate towards others on a huge platform. We need to stop pretending like every belief falls under the umbrella of political opinion. Politics is about governance. Dehumanizing people, encouraging violence, that is not politics. That is extremism. And clearly we can see that when we normalize it, the more dangerous it becomes for everyone. All right, thank you. Class is dismissed.
What happened to Charlie Kirk happened plain and simple because he was a truth teller. He wasn't rude, he wasn't disrespectful, he wasn't wicked, he wasn't immoral. What happened to Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, happened because he was a truth teller. And the reason why social media has not taken that assassination video offline, the reason that they have not censored it, is because social media is run by very high-level witches and warlocks. And just like back in the slave day, when the black men decided that they wanted to cause a revolt, and when they were caught, they made sure that they hung them in front of everybody to see. That is why that video is still being circulated and why it's not being stopped. Is because they want to show each and every truth teller out here, this is what's going to happen to you. They want to show each and every truth teller out here that if you don't cower down in fear, if you don't become silent, you will be assassinated as well. That video is kept up, and it is a sign of what they did back in the slave day when they hung the black man, kept him up there for days, weeks, and months. Just as you passed by, you had another level of fear. But my prayer is today, in the righteous indignation of God, that no truth teller become silent. My prayer today is that this causes a revival. One man's death causes a revival of truth tellers, millions of truth tellers, to stand up globally all over the world and speak the truth no matter who is listening. Speak the truth even in the fear of assassination. Speak the truth even in the fear of death. I pray that none of you cower down in silence. Let the righteous indignation of God, let the boldness of the Holy Ghost come on the inside of you and make you speak louder than you did before. There are still 7,000 that have not bowed their knees to Baal. And it's just time. It's time for you to speak. It's time for truth tellers to speak. The world and even most of the church hates God's truth tellers. I saw somebody say in one of my comments, the church needs to wake up. Why? You hate people when they try to wake them up. You talk about them when they try to wake you up. You smear their names when they try to wake you up. This is what happens when you try to wake the church up. May those that God have assigned to wake the church up, may God's truth tellers wake up and begin to speak the truth, even if the church comes against you for doing it. And I don't care how many times you watch an assassination video, let it always be embedded in your mind, your spirit, and the cells of your body, that you are forever and ever and ever covered by.
You told the Wall Street Journal that it is, quote, very clear to us and to the investigators that this was a person who was deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology. Can you elaborate on that and be more specific?
Well, sure. So that information comes from the people around him, from his family members and friends. That's how we got that information. Again, there's so much more that we're learning, and so much more that we will learn. There will be official charges will be filed on Tuesday, and there will be much more evidence and information available then. And again, we're interviewing all kinds of people, everyone that knows him, and trying to learn more about what that motive actually was.
Well, some outlets are reporting that the suspect lived with a transgender partner. Is that accurate? And are investigators looking at this part of his life as a possible motivation?
Yes, definitely. And yes, I can confirm that. I know that has been reported, and that the FBI has confirmed that as well, that the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female. I can say that he has been very cooperative. This partner has been incredibly cooperative, had no idea that this was happening, and is working with investigators right now.
And how is that relevant to the investigation when it comes to the motive? Are you learning that?
Sure. Well, yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Again, it's easy to draw conclusions from that, and so we've got the shell casings, other forensic evidence that is coming in, and trying to piece all of those things together.
You said that the roommate is being very helpful. Has that individual explained to law enforcement what the mindset of the shooter was and whether or not it is connected to his ideology or his situation as transitioning, as you just described?
I'm not sure about that piece right now, Dana.
Okay, so we're not sure if the fact that he was romantically involved, as you say, with his partner who was transitioning is relevant to the motive of the murder based on the investigation.
Well, sure. Again, all of these things we're trying to figure it out. I know everybody wants to know exactly why and point the finger, and I totally get that. I do too. And so I just want to be careful, as I haven't read all of the interview transcripts, and so we'll have to wait and see what comes out.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We should all be careful. I guess just because that's out there are a lot of people drawing conclusions, and so I'm just trying to get as many facts as we can glean from you, since you have been involved in the investigation. And on that, the social and gaming platform Discord released a statement saying its servers were in no way involved in Tyler Robinson's alleged plot to assassinate Charlie Kirk. But it did say there were, quote, communications between the suspect's roommate and a friend after the shooting, where the roommate was recounting the contents of a note the suspect had left elsewhere. Can you tell us about that note that the shooter left?
So I can't yet. Again, those are things that are still being processed for accuracy and verification, and will be included in charging documents. Okay,
so but the note was found, or the content of the note is known by law enforcement?
Again, I can't share any specifics. They're looking at everything right now.
Understood. I just want to go back to my first question about what you told the Wall Street Journal about that this is a person indoctrinated with leftist ideology. And the reason why I think it would be great to be more specific is because your goal of trying to lower the temperature, you said that this is based on investigation and interviews with people who knew him. Did they just use the term leftist ideology, or did they give specifics?
Yeah, there are conversations that were discussed specifically about Charlie Kirk, other conversations about the direction that this was going. And look, I my job is just to tell people I really don't have a dog in this fight. If this was MAGA and a radicalized MAGA person, I would be saying that as well. If the friends were saying that, I would be sharing that as well. That's not what they're sharing. And so I do think it is important, again, to understand how someone gets radicalized like this. And in this case, it happened with, as much as people wish it wasn't or don't want it to be this, these are the facts that are being presented to us. If there are additional facts that would point otherwise, but family discussions, parents, this is what they're saying, and these things happen. And so it's okay to have these discussions.
Listen, absolutely, and I'm just trying to get more facts, more details of the facts that you're putting out there.
My young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history, yes. The question is, what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s. And having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets, we are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together, the Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, I mean, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there. But this is our moment. Do we escalate or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow,"
and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
22-year-old Tyler Robinson has been identified as the key suspect in the fatal shooting of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Mr. Robinson was taken into custody on September 12th after his father recognized him from footage released by the FBI during a nationwide manhunt and urged him to turn himself in, according to the BBC's U.S. partner CBS News. So, what do we know about Tyler Robinson? Well, the FBI declined to discuss his background, political leanings, or possible motive, saying the investigation was ongoing. A family member of Mr. Robinson said he had become more political in recent years during an interview with investigators, according to Utah Governor Spencer Cox, and had expressed negative views about Kirk during a family dinner. Public records reviewed by the BBC have him listed as an unaffiliated voter in the state of Utah, and Mr. Robinson was not enrolled at UVU, the site of the shooting. Records reviewed by BBC Verify suggest that he briefly attended Utah State University in 2021, but only for a semester. Investigators say Mr. Robinson was steeped in online culture, with casings believed to display references to online trolling humor as well as messages which could have been interpreted as sympathetic to Antifa, the left-wing anti-fascist and anti-racism movement. His roommate reportedly showed investigators a series of messages on the social platform Discord from a contact named Tyler referencing a rifle drop point and instructions on retrieving and hiding the weapon. For now, Mr. Robinson remains in custody as prosecutors prepare formal charges.
I'll be going on early Sunday morning. We're going to Arizona, taking some people with us on Air Force One. Maybe you people are going to be with us, I don't know. Well, the problem is on the left. If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left. And when you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place, that's the left, that's not the right. We'll see. We'll be announcing. They're already under investigation. You know, they're already under major investigation. A lot of the people that you would traditionally say are on the left. They're already under investigation.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment. And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability, this phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him. He could always find the ones who could handle any setback. And it's almost like he knew. He could see it in you. Even when you couldn't see it in yourself, he just knew. He knew you could handle it. You thought you only had 5% left, and he knew you had 15. He knew you were ready to go that extra mile even when you didn't. He always challenged people around him to work harder and to be better. He never gave up. And I love knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever. Our campus tour this fall will continue. There will be even more tours in the years to come. America Fest here in Phoenix this December will go on. It will be greater than ever. The radio and podcast show that he was so proud of will go on. And in a world filled with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty, my husband's voice will remain. And it will ring out louder and more clearly than ever. And his wisdom will endure.
Everybody, I think we should kind of conclude it on that note right there, because, you know, let her speak her piece. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Now, I just want to say, like, I seen a lot of comments about who's blaming black folks? I'm sorry, I'm not on conservative talk. But, and that's not in my algorithm, but there's plenty. I got as many as possible to show in there, just to show, you know, there's valid points on each side. And I did not know Charlie Kirk. And I seen that there was a lot of the same talking points, but there was little to no context. And so when I did my own deep dive, I started watching like full-length videos, and I was just like, you know, he make a point. He make a point. But I know a lot of people don't like the harshest truths. Sometimes we need to be coddled into the truths about things the way it is. And so I wouldn't go to Charlie Kirk for the truth in black people. That wouldn't be my first go-to, like, not whatsoever. But what I would do is go look into those people around me. I wouldn't go to Charleston White either. But when you listen to these people like Charlie Kirk, Charleston White, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they told the truth about a lot of stuff. And one thing I want to say is, when I say that they blame black people, because if you look at all the content creators who are, reacting to videos of the conservative content creators who are reacting to the content that is of Charlie Kirk's death, they're using black people. And you can, if you on conservative talk, you should know this. You should know that all these people who they're talking about, they're not using trans people. They're definitely not using white people, because even though there's a few white people who have spoken out on this on social media, they're not clipping their videos. They're using black content creators. They're using Mexican content creators. They're using Middle Eastern content creators. So it's not that they're saying that. And then this is how y'all paint it as not black people, because it's kind of crazy, and I hate this word. Like, you're liberals. I'm not a fucking liberal. What the fuck is a liberal? I do what's right. But if a black person speaks out on something and it follows under the liberal values or Democratic Party or whatever idea it falls under, you label them not as a human being, not as a person, but as a liberal or a Democrat. So that's why I say they blaming black people. Because y'all not talking, let's be real, y'all not talking to the white liberals. When white liberals is the ones that's starting this shit. But when Charlie Kirk died, Y'all didn't go after none of the trolls who called these death threats. They didn't call them to University of Texas, University of Alabama, University of Ole Miss. They didn't call them threatening them. They called black universities, HBCUs. Imagine that. So if you're white and you don't understand why black people are getting blamed, what do you think DEI is? DEI help black people the least. But when every time you Google a DEI video, who pops up? A black person. So then everybody's thinking, oh, DEI affects the black people. No, it actually affected white women the most. Black people came in the 7th most people that DEI affected. But the only talking points that we see from conservative content creators are stitching and talking about black people. So, but y'all might not see it. I'm not here to get all political with y'all. I'm just saying, this is what it is, and I hate that because I'm not your fucking liberal, and I'm not going to shoot no goddamn Charlie Kirk because of how he feel about black people. Because what his black ass ain't, what his ass, white ass ain't doing is coming to my black neighborhood. Okay? He's not doing it. He's not even a taxpayer over here. And they're all on my block. It's probably like 75% black. Okay? And we don't walk outside and be like, hey, conservative white neighbor. We don't do that. And I would hope they don't say, hey, you liberal black man. I wouldn't want them to say that. That would be weird. But all I'm saying is, because we as a community or as one, my home is protected, but I'm pretty sure if something was to go down, my white neighbor wouldn't be like, oh, that liberal, let them people rob his house. They wouldn't do that. And also what I want to say is, it was something to the matter of that guy. The guy spoke right before this. Yeah, he was talking to black people. Y'all might not think it. Y'all might not say, oh, that black person. But we know. And it's fine. I get it. Someone also said, well, when Charlie Kirk was talking about black babies, oh, y'all, I didn't even play that video. He said, black men, the reason why black men ain't in the homes, I think it's one of these videos after this, but it's just too long. And people joked about now this woman is a baby mama. And her husband got killed by white-on-white violence. And although it was a colorful joke, but this is the same rhetoric that Charlie Kirk would say, but only towards black people. So it's not that I'm upset. I'm not finna throw it in his face or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, you know, with this being a white man that did this, I'm gonna be honest. Black people, we was like, I'm glad that it wasn't one of us. Cause goddamn, we go through enough problems in this country. We are glad it wasn't when a black shooter Like, man, anytime, I don't give a damn if it's at the nightclub or it's at a courthouse or a school. I pray for 33 hours that it's not one of us. Because nigga, we cannot take on that feat. But it do be in our neighborhoods, black on black crime. And that's why we gotta work on ours. That's why we got Charleston White to tell us about ours. Charlie Kirk, you need to talk to your boys about y'all. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Don't spend so much time worried about black people when y'all got a problem on y'all own. And it ain't even a y'all. It's generally, overall speaking, all of our damn problem. Because in Buffalo, when there was a white shooter, you know who he came after? Black people. But when you go to the hood and you go to Chicago and you be like, oh, it's 58 deaths this weekend. You be like, damn. Not 58 deaths, it'd be like 58 people shot. About 4 or 5 dead. You'd be like, damn. It was a deadly weekend over here in Chicago. So then you start talking to your people, hey man, what the fuck y'all doing? Well, I don't condone that crap either. But it happens. But I'm not going to sit up here and blame systematic racism over that. Those are talking points of white conservatives. I'm going to use y'all word against y'all. White conservative talking points is that we blame the man. But we have opportunities out here. School, Pell Grants, other grants, DEI, whether you like it or not. When he said, should a black person get a job over another person who's qualified, but DEI, white women receive more DEI credit than everybody. Why didn't he say that? I don't know. Maybe he didn't get the statistics because he got a statistic about everything else. Where's the statistic that white women benefited from DEI more than black people? But his thing was a black person shouldn't get a job over a more qualified person. Whatever. I don't know nothing though. All I'm doing, hey, I'm gonna be honest, this ain't our fight. We out of this. So take that how y'all will. I'm not trying to debate somebody, about it. Because I don't care. It's not our fight. Bowing out. I didn't even want to do this. I kind of did. I kind of wanted to jump on the bandwagon of Charlie Kirk's death. I ain't finna celebrate it. Not finna celebrate it. So, because it's not even that important. I didn't even know Charlie Kirk before this. Actually, I did. The day before this happened, I saw Charlie Kirk. The day before this happened, I seen Charlie Kirk debate a trans person about being a woman. And I was just like, it makes sense, but I don't see why this trans person would sit here and try to convince a motherfucker who's not gonna be convinced, who's not gonna care about your values, not gonna care about your life, not caring at all. So the stupidity and the irony of this is thousands of these people went to go talk to this man to debate him, try to make him make a fool of him, and you only boosted him up. Nigga, if I don't like you, I'm not coming to see you. I'm not standing in line for you. I'm not standing in the heat for you. I'm not going to ask you no questions. I'm not dealing with you. So why y'all go do it? Why do y'all go sit in front of this man and let him gas y'all up? Let him go sit on some podcast and talk to white conservatives till he blue in the face. But y'all want to go and watch him and debate him for 2 hours in the blazing sun. It probably ain't blazing in Utah, but I'm pretty sure he did one in Texas. It's hot as hell out there. And you telling me you gonna sit out there and debate this nigga in the hot sun? I think not. So, yeah, y'all miss me with that bullshit. I don't know why y'all want to go over there and mess with that man. Now look at you. Y'all done got yourself in some stuff because allegedly that the shooter had a transitioning boyfriend. Now y'all in it. Now y'all being blamed for what happened. Y'all should have stayed y'all's asses at home. But what do I know? Y'all don't want to listen. Y'all want to go and convince another man who don't give a damn about y'all that he's wrong. And now look, you're wrong. And I don't know what her speech is about, but she said that he's going to be more impactful in his death. Yep. You know why? Because some lunatic conservatives are about to go out ape shit around the country. And y'all think for 1 second that it's us. Liberal blacks. It's the liberal blacks. Because the blacks need DEI. The blacks got too many baby mamas and baby daddies. But whatever. Everyday people. I'm glad y'all stuck around for 104 minutes, but y'all take y'all black asses to bed. And let these white folks sort this stuff out. Okay. This is not our fight. Everyday people. I'll let you later.
Some women can start working in as 1 week.